Welcome back, everyone. It is Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and my two best bets are on the way. Again, we have the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Boston Celtics. Let's see if the Mavericks can push this series to a Game 6. However, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Man, it feels good to be finally back home. We were in a bunch of different sceneries. Hopefully you enjoyed the scenic views that you might have had in the past few videos, but we are finally back home. But sadly, we have to talk about some sad news. The notepad is gone. He's retired, although he's still here, but you know what I mean. Either way, let's dive into the picks first, and let's recap how we did in Game 4. Obviously not a good game, and we went 1-2. Our only winner was Luka Doncic's over in first quarter points. Probably one of the only overs that really hit in that game, because good Lord, 38-point victory by the Mavs. We lost our Drew Holiday and Jason Tatum prop. They both got benched within 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Obviously, you're not going to cash a lot of props in a 38-point blot unless you're taking only unders. But either way, a 1-2 day, not terrible. I got two picks coming inbound, and I really like the ones we got cooked up. And hopefully, this is a very, very good Game 5. As always, I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Hit a like button. Drop your favorite picks down below in the comments. Appreciate all you guys' love and support, even while I was out on vacation and doing some things. But still was locked in. Still have been having a decent finals. Let's hopefully end, if this is the end of the NBA season, end it strong today. Or I'll see you guys back for Game 6 in a few days. But without further ado, I'm just diving into the picks. You can sign up for sportsbook deposit matches and stuff in the description. Do whatever you want. It really does help support the channel if you use those links, though. First one of the day is a guy that cost us some money in Game 1. His name is Drew Holiday. Now, I took his PRAs over in Game 4. Today, I'm just rolling this over in rebounds. Over 5.5 rebounds, minus 128 on FanDuel. Now, before I even dive into why I like this one, personally, I would play it to about minus 140. I do think Drew has a good chance of hitting his PRA line. I also liked him for 10-plus points. I just don't really want to trust him to get anything else but rebounds tonight. And I think he can get a 6 rebounds. Now, obviously, if this moves up and up and up throughout the day, I play it to minus 140. Like I said, the 10-plus points, I think he gets that. But obviously, you're going to take on another extra leg or extra risk there if you're going to do a 2-leg SGP. Now, in Game 1, Drew Holiday had 8 rebounds. Then Game 2 followed up with another great game. So both games at home this series, 8 and then 11 rebounds. Last two games, not great. Only 4 and 3 rebounds in Games 3 and 4. A little bit of a tongue twister there. But he had 11 rebound chances in Game 3. Obviously only 7 in Game 4. There's really not a lot you can read into in that Game 4. I mean, you could say, oh, hey, the Mavericks finally figured some things out. The Celtics also didn't play well at all. Not really a thing you're like, oh, this guy only had 4 rebounds or 3 rebounds in Game 4. Hammer in the under. No, because guys didn't really play their normal minutes because, like I said, the Celtics starters all got benched with 3 or 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Now, I like Drew Holiday to come out here and establish himself. Obviously, he's more known for what he does on the defensive side, which is kind of where we need him to be locked in. We need those defensive rebounds because Drew Holiday might get an offensive rebound here and there. Heck, if he wants to get 3 or 4, go for it. But at the end of the day, there was a really big thing that, sure, you could look at the schemes that the Mavericks came up with and what they kind of did that found success. One of the biggest things they had success with, effort. And that's a pretty easy thing to fix here, the Boston Celtics. We just talked about Derek Lively. Obviously, had a massive Game 4, played pretty well in Game 3, too. 7 offensive rebounds in that Game 4 win. That's a pretty easy thing to fix. You got to box out. I mean, and when we think about who's going to be boxing out, Derek Lively is going to be guys like Jason Tatum or Al Horford, and the longer rebounds are going to go to the guards, and Drew Holiday needs to get in there and grab some rebounds and those defensive possessions. I mean, we knew Drew Holiday is one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, and he's a pretty good rebounding guard as well. They need him out there to grab those rebounds and end those defensive possessions. And that's kind of where I think he's going to dominate, is get those defensive boards just like he did in Games 1 and 2. Obviously, the Mavericks are on the road, not going to shoot as well on the road as you would assume, and I think Drew Holiday is going to have plenty of chances to get rebounds. I mean, he is the guy that's guarding Kyrie Irving. However, Kyrie in that Game 3 and really Game 4 and really all throughout the series hasn't really attacked a ton of Drew Holiday one-on-one. It's not like, oh, this is a great matchup. Get it to Kyrie, let him go one-on-one on Drew. That's not really what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is throw some screens, get Kyrie or Luka or whoever Drew Holiday's guarding, get them on a weaker defender, and let them go attack those guys. You just don't see a lot of shots where Drew Holiday is the closest defender contesting, because typically those aren't really high percentage looks, because Drew Holiday, one of the best defensive guards in the league. So I think you'll see him in position for some rebounds. Sure, you need the ball to bounce your way a little bit, but he's been a pretty good rebounding guard. There's a chance this line changes depending on Kristaps Porzingis' status. Kristaps plays, I don't really care. Kristaps doesn't. I don't really care. It's not going to affect my analysis. Might change the odds a little bit. If he plays, you'll probably get better odds, but I can't imagine the line changes off of 5.5. Maybe you get minus 120 instead of minus 128. I like Drew Holiday to grab 6 boards. Worth noting, if you want to just take a peek, check his over and rebounds and check his 6+ rebounds line. Was a slight difference on FanDuel. So definitely check that out. But Drew Holiday, first pick of the day, over 5.5 rebounds. Now, my second pick is going to be a 2-leg SGP. Very easy pivot for the people out there that are on PrizePicks, Underdog fantasies of the world because it revolves all around one guy, and it's PJ Washington. Now, the two legs are his over 11.5 points and his over 3.5 rebounds. Now, it's worth noting his rebound line is not 3.5, it is 5.5 or 6, depending if you're on, Underdog or PrizePicks. It probably has that push potential. His regular line at points is 11.5, but the best odds you could get is minus 125. If you go to 12.5, you get plus money. Personally, I think if he gets 11.5 points, very, very good chance he grabs the board. So I'm doing this two leg at minus 105 instead of taking the points, which is 11.5 still, at minus 125. That's obviously the clear and easy pivot. If you can't do SGPs, just take his regular over in points. Now, I'll talk about the rebounds first and foremost, because in this playoffs, PJ Washington, 4 rebounds in every single game besides game 4. And we'll talk about that in a second. But he's been so consistent getting the 4 rebs. I think he gets that. Now, let's talk about the points. Why do I think he scores points? Now, in games 1, 2, and 3, we backed him in games 1 and 2. PJ, 14, 17, and 13 points, getting the 12 points we need. Now, game 4, he was one of the only Mavs to struggle. He only had 6 points, 2 of 4, did hit 2 threes, 2 rebounds, played 14 minutes. Now, you might look at that and be like, I saw Derrick Jones Jr. in a couple games in the series not play a lot. Did they just bench him? No, that wasn't the case. He was just in foul trouble. He had 2 quick fouls early, and then he had a third that I believe he got in the second quarter, early in that quarter. And then right to start the third quarter, my numbers are all messed up, but you get what I mean. Right to start the third quarter, he got another foul. So he only had 4 fouls, and they didn't play him from like the 9-minute on after the third quarter because they were already up by 35 points or whatever. I just don't think that they're randomly going to take PJ Washington out of the rotation. I think that's what these lines not are indicating, but I think they're like, oh, he only played that many minutes. Maybe we should bump his line down from the 13.5 or 14.5 he had seen in games 3 and 4. I just think he's going to continue to go back to that 36 minutes. The guys behind him, Dante Exum played pretty well, but Josh Green, Maxi Kleber has been a liability offensively. He made a 3-pointer in the game in game 4, and that was like his only shot. He just doesn't shoot the basketball. So he looks scared to shoot. Sure, your one shot went in, proud of you, but 20-something minutes for Maxi, and he barely shoots once. You need some guys out there that are going to be a threat. And I think PJ, a guy that has dominated this matchup against the Celtics before, I really think he continues to play pretty well. So I like this 2-leg SGP. As I said at the top, you can just take his over in points, which is 11.5, which we have in here as a leg. But I also think he gets 4 rebounds. So I'll take the minus 105 instead of laying a little bit more juice on the 11.5 points, like minus 125, minus 135. Don't think that's worth it. Give me the 11.5 points parlayed with him to grab 4 rebounds, 2-leg SGP. PJ, let's see if you can continue to respect our money. Now, I don't have a third pick. However, I will throw up who I think wins in, well, not wins in coverage, because our third pick technically is a pending one from game 2, and it is the over 5.5 games in the series. Now, obviously, you see I put minus 125. That's what we got it at in game 2. Obviously, that's not the same odds today. In fact, it's probably plus 210 because it's Mavericks money line. That's what we need. We need the Mavs to win, and that'll obviously trigger us winning our over 5.5 series total games. In this game, I do lean the Mavericks. I don't know if they win, though. I'm going to be rooting hard for them, but I don't want to put any money on the Mavericks to win or cover because we already have money on them because we took the over 5.5 in the series team total games. So I'm going to root for the Mavs. I'm going to root for some misses from the Celtics, maybe some offensive rebounds for Jrue Holiday. I think we had a pretty good game tonight. If I had to put my money on either team, I would lean the Mavericks plus the points. They were 7.5, now down to 6.5. I would lean that. The Mavs have been competitive in this series. Games 2 and 3, you could argue if something goes their way, they probably win that game. Game 4, obviously, nothing really didn't have to go their way. They dominated game 4. We'll see if they can dominate this game. I don't think they win by 38. To keep this game competitive, I think the Mavs found some sort of edges that they could have been probably using in their previous 3 games, but lost those ones. They've been competitive. Let's see if they can extend this series. That would be awesome because I'd love to be back for game 6, and who knows where it can go from there. But I think it's going to be a pretty good game. As for my picks, I only have Jrue Holiday's over in points and the PJ Washington 2-leg SGP, 12 points and 4 rebounds. A third pick, technically, we do have the series total over 5.5, which will be decided tonight, win or lose. So we'll see how those 3 picks go, and then we'll recap them. And if I see you back for game 6, awesome. If I don't see you back, well, it's been a really, really wonderful NBA season, and hopefully we ended strong. And maybe we went 2-1, assuming that, the series total probably didn't hit if we're not back again. But either way, y'all have a wonderful Monday, wonderful game 5. Let me know your favorite picks down below. As always, appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. I'm happy to be back. And even if I'm not back for another NBA video, I'm going to be locked into the MLB the whole summer long. We're going to turn around that season, which hasn't been off to the greatest start, but it's going to be turned around pretty quickly. That's just a percentages thing. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys back, hopefully, for game 6. See you then. Peace!